to 570 pesos for the non-agriculture sector and 533 pesos for the agriculture sector. The department says if the wage order for Western Visayas will be published tomorrow, it will also take effect on June 3. The agency adds minimum wage earners in Ilocos, Cagayan Valley, and Caraga are also poised to get higher pay ranging from 30 to 90 pesos. And it is official, it is already the onset of the rainy season. The Weather Bureau Pag-asa made the announcement after recording the presence of frontal systems and severe thunderstorms in the last few days. Now this means Metro Manila and the western sections of the country can now expect intermittent rains associated with the southwest monsoon. More stories here in News 9. Health Department greenlights a second booster shot for senior citizens and medical workers. And it is green and go for the much-awaited collegiate cheer dance competition, with 8 squads finally returning to the UAAP stage. You're watching CNN Philippines.
SMC, San Miguel Corporation. Bisag unsang industriya ang sudlan niini, tinguha sa SMC ang pag-uswag o paglambo sa mga Pilipino. Karon, gikan sa SMC, aniya na ang SMC Davao Cement. SMC Davao Cement, gama sa Davao para sa Mindanao. SMC Davao Cement, ato ni Bay.
Welcome back to Newsnight. As officials hope to immunize more Filipinos against the new Omicron subvariant, the Health Department approves a second booster for senior citizens and health workers. They can get either the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine. The government is hopeful this will help increase booster uptake and achieve the goal of 77 million vaccinated Filipinos by late June. But Caroline Bonkin reports health workers still face challenges in reaching last-mile vaccinees.
About 2 million Moderna COVID-19 vaccines are expiring in 2 weeks, yet millions remain unvaccinated or unboosted in the country. These were mostly bought by the private sector. Their shelf life were already extended, but the stocks remain unused. Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship Joey Concepcion now asking the Health Technology Assessment Council or HTAC to follow the US CDC guidelines. This means allowing a second booster shot for 50 years and older or age 12 years and up who are moderately to severely immunocompromised and not just adults with select illnesses. He says this will address expiring vaccines, speed up booster uptake, and prevent surges due to new variants. But aside from the U.S., the Vaccination Operations Center chief says HTAC also looks at guidelines from other countries like the UK. She says focus should be in inoculating those with zero and low protection against COVID.
Ayaw natin, yan ang maging basis. Hindi ba? Dapat the benefits of the vaccine should outweigh any risk rather than ipilit natin kasi mag-expire. Yes, masasayang yung bakuna, but if the experts feel na hindi naman kailangan na wala tayong magawa. Yes, they're about to expire. So kung pwede nang payagan na kaagad para magamit.
Nearly 17 million qualified Filipinos still don't have a single shot of life-saving vaccines. Millions still unboosted, and reaching the remaining unvaccinated today is a harder task than ever.
Ang advice natin sa mga healthcare workers, huwag na masyadong pagkabalahan yung ating talagang hardcore ayaw niya. Yung mga medyo pwede, yun talaga ang balik-balikan na lang natin. Kawawa naman sila kasi yan yung mga konting-konti lang natin, di ba? They are spread far and malalayo.
8 regions have at least 1 million unvaccinated people each. In Barili, Cebu, we met 78-year-old Matelina Flores, still unvaccinated and not keen on getting one.
Magpasok-pasok, layong dapit.
She says she rarely leaves home anyway. Her daughter, Tadea, also unvaccinated. When asked why,
Di lang ko gusto.
but later, Tadea tells us she's afraid of any kind of vaccine. Their friend from another village, Carmelita, also unvaccinated, afraid of hearsay about vaccine side effects from friends and neighbors.
Ayaw sa katawan ko magpabaksin. Parang kontra ba? Ano na
I'm afraid of dying, Carmelita tells us. Government records show no one died due to COVID-19 vaccines in the Philippines and less than 8% had serious side effects. No health worker has reached out to them yet to address their doubts, but all of them firm that no one and nothing could convince them to take the shot.
Pagbuot lang sa Ginoo.
They said they're just leaving their fate to God. Caroline Bongkin, CNN Philippines.
Metro Manila mayors are bent on preventing another surge in cases in the region where cases of the BA.2.12.1 have been detected. Lois Calderon explains how officials are using the situation to convince people to get boosted.
City mayors regroup with health authorities as a new Omicron subvariant seeps through the capital. All cracks are being checked for any signs of clustering, they say.
The 2 cases in Metro Manila are not in Quezon City, no. But of course, this does not discount the possibility of local transmission. So our surveillance team are very much prepared.
We have 5 active cases and none of them are of this subvariant. We will just continue to ensure that our people are vaccinated.
Cities have been fortifying their wall of immunity against COVID-19 mutations. So mayors move to convince their constituents, especially those qualified, to get vaccinated with booster shots for a second time. In Quezon City, over 835,000 people have been inoculated with first booster out of the target 1.2 million.
Based on their guidelines, the second booster will now be made available to everyone, I think 18 and above.
In San Juan, Mayor Francis Zamora says up to 80% received their first booster shot.
I also would like everyone to get their booster shots.
How city officials chart their battle plan against this subvariant jibe with what health experts advise, especially as immunity from the primary vaccine could wane.
If our wall of immunity is still good, since we have been exposed to BA2 in January and we have that natural immunity, and a lot of the population are already given the primary vaccine series, then we still have a good protection against the BA2.12.1. And most likely, we will not be experiencing surge or spike. We can still have spikes and surge, but not as high as what we have experienced from that with the Omicron variant BA2 in January.
If you got already the infection, then after around 90 to 6 months, 90 days to 6 months, then probably your immunity has gone down. So you need to have booster already.
With the Omicron subvariant regarded as low risk, city mayors say they will not convene yet as Metro Manila Council. Border restrictions or lockdowns are being ruled out for now. The past months have seen hospitals no longer overwhelmed, but they're not letting their guard down.
Metro Manila's battle plan has a singular theme. Instead of seeing this Omicron subvariant as an emerging crisis, they're using it as an opportunity to convince more people to get booster shots. But vaccine hesitancy is the other firewall that city officials need to break through. Lois Calderon, CNN, Philippines.
In the United States, the Food and Drug Administration has authorized a Pfizer booster shot for children 5 to 11 years old. The third shot may be given at least 5 months after the two primary doses. Pfizer said a booster raises Omicron fighting antibodies by 36 times for children of that age group. The matter now goes to the CDC, which is set to meet on Thursday. Other headlines, U.S. officials now think the China Eastern Airlines flight that crashed in March could have been intentional. Flight data reportedly suggests someone in the cockpit deliberately downed the plane. The Boeing 737-800 was flying from Kunming to Guangzhou when it crashed, killing all 132 passengers and crew on board. Investigators have not found any mechanical or technical problems with the aircraft. Finland and Sweden, which have been neutral for decades, have officially applied to join NATO. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg says they will work through any issues with member countries regarding the application. Turkey has said it was against Finland and Sweden's NATO membership. A new report by the World Health Organization and UNICEF shows almost 1 billion persons with disabilities and senior citizens are denied access to assistive technology that would make their lives easier. Chrissy Matula goes deeper into those figures.
Deishra Quazon is visually impaired. Her disability, however, is not a hindrance to using a cell phone. She can easily compose a message and hold conversations.
Yan, meron na po siya tinatawag na talkback doon sa may accessibility settings ng inyong mga cellphone. Kaya, yun. So, kami na mga blind po ay magsi-cellphone din na parang yung mga sighted lang. Minsan nga po, yung mga sighted na i-insultoin ka, kalala, hindi naman, hindi nakakapag-type.
Through the phone features, she has joined a group of voice talents.
Sa aming mga visually impaired or totally blind, normal po ang ma-discriminate na parang, ganda ka na lang.
Deishra had to stop school for lack of funds. She's supposed to be a college freshman this year.
Gusto daw niya laptop sana kasi kailangan. College na kasi, yun talaga hindi ko kayang bilhin.
The World Health Organization and UNICEF have called on governments, industry donors, and civil society to fund and prioritize access to products that aid people with disabilities. A new report published by the two United Nations agencies states that more than 2.5 billion people are in need of so-called assistive products, such as wheelchairs, hearing aids, or apps that support communication and cognition. In the Philippines, the National Council on Disability Affairs, or NCDA, admits that extending assistance for persons with disability is a work in progress. NCDA Executive Director Emerito Rojas says the agency is coordinating with the private sector and local governments to help in the assistance program for PWDs.
The government provided to those deserving or enlightened arrangements. Hindi mo yan libre sa lahat. We have other partner providers that provide that if the government cannot provide it for free.
The WHO and UNICEF say nearly 1 billion PWDs, particularly in low and middle-income countries, have no access to these products. For Deishra, her family hopes that visually impaired people would have the same opportunities as the rest with proper access to assistive products. Chrissy Matulak, CNN Philippines.
In other news, broadcaster and former special envoy to China, Mon Tulfo, is arrested for cyber libel. Tulfo is now under the custody of the special mayor's reaction team at the Manila City Hall after his arrest this morning. The Manila Regional Trial Court Branch 24 issued the warrant. Former Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre confirmed to CNN Philippines he was the complainant in the case. Aguirre previously filed numerous libel and cyber libel charges against Tulfo regarding supposedly malicious newspaper columns. Mon Tulfo is the brother of Senator-elect Raffy Tulfo. Lots of action when we come back. Team Philippines bags its first gold medal in games. And a win for DWP fans with a cheer dance competition finally happening this weekend. We'll tell you where to buy tickets after the break.
SMC San Miguel Corporation. Bisag unsang industriya ang sudlan niini, tinguha sa SMC ang pag-uswag o paglambo sa mga Pilipino. Karon, gikan sa SMC, aniya na ang SMC Davao Cement. SMC Davao Cement. Gama sa Davao, para sa Mindanao. SMC Davao Cement. Ato ni Bay.
You're tuned into Newsnight here on CNN Philippines. NBA updates now. Miami Heat snatching Game 1 of the East Finals, beating the Boston Celtics 118-107. Jimmy Butler scored 41 of Miami's points. Game 2 kicks off Friday, 8:30 a.m. Philippine time. Here at home, get ready to see all kinds of stunts on the UAAP stage again. Some schools announced ticket details for the cheer dance competition. The event is set for Sunday at the Mall of Asia Arena. Adamson University and FEU Athletics posted that they will begin ticket sales tomorrow, while a UP alumni group said selling opened at the school this morning. Now on to other SEA Games events. Team Philippines hauls in medals in billiards today. Johan Chua earns the country's second gold in the sport, winning the men's 9-ball pool singles. Harlo Birada clinches the silver medal after losing to Chua. And in men's one-cushion carom singles, Francisco de la Cruz and Efren Batareas take a bronze each. Plus, the national team also claims its first medal in archery. The trio of Pia and Monica Bidaure and Phoebe Amistoso struck gold in women's team recurve. Pinoy fencers complete their SEA Games run with the men's foil and women's saber teams getting bronze today. The Philippines now has 1 gold, 3 silver, and 4 bronze medals in fencing. In basketball, Gilas Pilipinas crushes Singapore for its third straight win, final score 88-37. The country remains steady at third in rankings next to host Vietnam and Thailand. The Philippines medal tally is at 133, and 36 of those medals are gold. And that is it for now. Join me again on News.ph at 7 p.m. I'm Pia Ontiveros for Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines.